Hello guys, my name is Sarpe and welcome back to another highly requested case study. Today's case revolves around Leah Marson, a well-known British actress from Manchester, who suddenly distanced herself from the film industry after 2022. Her last notable appearance was in a psychological thriller titled Crimson Mirror. But after a major incident, Leah's acting career practically collapsed. Fame, films, and spotlight, she left everything behind and started living a quiet life in the Dawnside district of London. She even took up a normal job just to survive. Everything changed on the 16th of February, 2025, when Leah's close friend tried contacting her repeatedly. Messages, calls, visits, but Leah didn't respond at all. Her friend panicked and immediately informed the local authorities. When officers entered the flat with her friend, her worst nightmare became real. Only 24 years old, Leah had already left this world. There were no signs of forced entry, no struggle, nothing suspicious inside the apartment. It was quickly labeled as a clear case of self-harm. But the most unsettling part? The date, the 16th of February. It wasn't random. It was the birthday of her ex-boyfriend, something we will talk about later. It almost felt like she was trying to send a hidden message with her death. But the truth didn't come out until weeks later. Because Leah's death was not what it looked like. There were bigger people involved behind the scenes. So let's learn more about today's case. Leah Marson was born on the 31st of July, 2000 in Manchester, one of the biggest hubs of British media and film industries. Growing up in such an environment, she naturally gravitated toward performing arts. At just 1 year old, she appeared as a baby model for a local family magazine. Her two elder sisters were also in acting, so Leah grew up surrounded by scripts, sets, and cameras. This influenced her to dream of becoming an actress from a very early age. In 2009, when she turned 9, she starred in her debut film A New Start as the lead child actress. The movie earned her praise and recognition across the country. She balanced school and acting simultaneously, delivering back-to-back hits like The Silent Runner, and soon earned the title of a child prodigy. And like we all know, just like K-pop idols are expected to be flawless in Korea, the UK film and media industry has its own set of unrealistic expectations. Perfect behavior, perfect looks, perfect lifestyle. As Leah entered her teenage years, these expectations grew heavier. When she began taking more mature roles, not adult roles, just grown-up, complex characters, the response wasn't as strong as before. People who once called her a prodigy now started comparing her, criticizing her, and expecting perfection. The pressure became unbearable. And this is exactly where the story turns dark. As the years passed, Leah's childhood magic began fading. She entered the industry to act, and she truly was that good. But once she transitioned into more mature roles, she stopped receiving the same praise, the same hype, and the same level of love she had as a child star. Her career felt like it had hit a plateau. She wasn't delivering blockbuster hits anymore. She wasn't getting those award season nominations. Even though she was trying her absolute best, her films simply weren't receiving the acclaim they once did. This slowly began affecting her confidence and how she viewed her own talent. Still, it wasn't all bad. Leah continued taking smaller films, indie projects, psychological thrillers, roles that weren't mainstream but allowed her to earn enough to support herself. But everyone could see it now, including Leah herself. She was drifting away from the mainstream British film industry. The girl who was once the main star of major productions was now seen only in occasional supporting roles or small projects. Then came 2020, a big turning point. Leah signed with a major London-based agency called Silverline Talent, home to massive names like Ariana Vale and Sophia Hentford. Signing with Silverline gave her hope, a ray of light. She thought her career would finally regain momentum. A new agency meant new opportunities. Bigger auditions, bigger films, bigger directors. Silverline was known for managing top-tier celebrities across the UK. So in her mind, there was no doubt. Things are about to change for me. She wanted to prove herself again. Prove to her fans that she wasn't washed up. That she still had the potential for greatness. But those hopes shattered faster than she imagined. Because only 2 years after joining Silverline, in May 2022, an incident occurred that changed Leah Marson's life forever. Being an actor is not an easy job. Hundreds of eyes watch your every move. Fans, critics, co-workers, even people who dislike you observe everything. One mistake, one slip-up, and your entire reputation can collapse. Sadly, something similar happened to Leah. The incident, May 2022. On the 18th of May, 2022, around 8 a.m., Leah was driving through Westminster's Ridgeway district, a wealthy London area known for its nightlife and heavy celebrity presence. She was seen driving with an unidentified person in the passenger seat. But her driving was reckless. Very reckless. Witnesses stated it looked as if she could crash at any moment. People nearby noticed her swerving and immediately called the police. Unfortunately, by the time authorities arrived, it was already too late. Leah's car had smashed through roadside barriers, skidded off towards a small row of trees, and finally crashed into an electrical transformer near a service building. When officers finally reached the scene, Leah allegedly attempted to flee, which only worsened her reputation. And remember, this was happening in the UK, where tabloids are brutal. Public figures get cancelled for much less. Wearing the same hoodie as someone else, being spotted with an unknown man, or rumours sparked by a blurry photo. But Leah had crashed her car into a public structure. This was a massive scandal. When police stopped her from fleeing, she and the unidentified friend were checked immediately. Thankfully, they survived the crash without major injuries. But that was the end of her peaceful career. The 2 people in the car with Leah were, fortunately, not critically injured. They only suffered minor cuts and bruises, and even the pedestrians nearby escaped with minimal harm. But Leah's car was almost completely destroyed, and worse, crashing into that electrical transformer caused a major blackout across the district. Nearly 52 shops and small businesses in the Ridgeway area of London were forced to halt operations. Card machines failed, lights went out, cafes had to close abruptly, and multiple offices lost their morning work hours. When officers tried speaking to Leah at the scene, she could barely stand. Her speech was slurred, disjointed, and incomprehensible. Everything about her behavior strongly suggested one thing. Leah Marson was driving under the influence. Once this reached the public, and UK news channels broadcasted CCTV footage of her reckless driving, the backlash erupted instantly. The footage showed Leah crashing once, readjusting the car, and then continuing to drive, making the public even angrier. People questioned, how could she be this careless? How could she endanger so many? Because of that single transformer crash, the entire area remained without power for almost 5 hours, costing dozens of businesses massive financial losses. But the biggest blow came to Leah's career. At the time, she was filming a major series for Britflix titled Night Stalker. Following the incident, filming had to be postponed. Her agency, Silverline Talent, issued an immediate public apology. Leah herself posted a handwritten apology letter, promising to take responsibility and repair the damage. But the damage was already done. Public outrage was too intense, and the scandal had already taken over the internet. People were furious, and honestly, quite understandably so. If you destroy public property, disrupt an entire district, and put lives at risk, the public will react. Even Britflix began receiving hate. How can you cast someone irresponsible? How can you keep her in your production? To protect the company from negative PR, Britflix didn't remove Leah from the series completely, but they did the next best thing. They cut almost 70% of her scenes. Only the essential, plot-related moments featuring her were kept. And then came the financial punishment. Leah was fined £1,450 by UK authorities for driving under the influence. But that wasn't all. A children's brand she was under contract with demanded almost £22,000 as penalty fees. And the producers of Night Stalker required her to pay nearly £38,000 in compensation for production delays and reshoots. In total, she owed close to £60,000, an amount far beyond what she had saved. Her accounts, savings, and emergency funds combined still couldn't cover the full expense. Leah's agency, Silverline Talent, had no choice but to step in. To protect their public image and their other actors, some of whom were major names, they paid Leah's penalties on her behalf. Not because they were doing her a favor, but because letting the scandal grow any bigger could have damaged their corporate partnerships, including their contract with Britflix. But the agency made it very clear. This wasn't charity. Every penny was recorded. And Leah would have to repay the entire amount. For her, this debt had turned into a mountain, one that even years of steady work wouldn't be enough to clear. She sold her car, liquidated her savings, and borrowed money from relatives just to reduce the debt from £60,000 down to £38,000. Even then, a huge amount was still pending. Had she continued working after the incident, had she been cast in films or series, she might have paid it back slowly. But the opposite happened. No studio wanted to touch her. No brand wanted to associate with her name. No production house wanted the controversy. And soon after her contract with Silverline Talent expired, the company refused to renew it. That was the beginning of her downfall. With no income, Leah moved back to her family home in Manchester. Her reputation had collapsed completely. In countries like the UK, the public does react, but in Leah's case, the level of scrutiny was unusually brutal, almost obsessive. Online, she was being mocked daily. Every article about her incident was filled with hateful comments. People labeled her reckless, irresponsible, a danger on the road. To protect herself, emotionally and mentally, she disappeared from the public eye. Her acting career, essentially, was over. To support herself, she began working hourly shifts in cafes, bakeries, and small local pubs. But even this became a source of humiliation, because people would visit those places just to record her or troll her. It was heartbreaking. Those who had watched her films knew that she often played complex, troubled characters. Characters who carried trauma. Characters who lived with conflict. And now, the tragedy she used to enact on screen had spilled into her real life. Yes, she had made a terrible mistake. No one denied that. But after the crash, she spiraled. Emotionally, financially, socially. She was broke. She was isolated. She was constantly judged. And internet hatred does not fade easily. Friends said her mental state kept deteriorating. She barely smiled anymore. She spoke less. She avoided cameras, people, and even phone calls. She stopped posting on social media. Comments had to be turned off due to non-stop trolling. In the entire year of 2023, she posted only once. A single picture, nothing else. But on the 24th of March, 2024, she uploaded something that shocked everyone. A photo with Evan Cade, one of the richest and most prominent actors in Britain, who had once worked with her under Silverline Talent. The two looked extremely close in the picture. Within minutes, Leah deleted the post. But by then, screenshots had already spread everywhere. People began speculating they were in a relationship. Some accused her of attention-seeking. Others accused her of using Evan's popularity to make a comeback. Silverline Talent quickly released an official clarification. The photo was old, taken years ago when Leah was still with the agency. But the damage was done. More criticism. More harassment. More rumors. Leah initially said she would address the situation and explain the photo, but then never gave a statement. She simply went silent. Her mental health kept declining. According to friends, she barely left her room. She struggled with guilt, regret, and constant anxiety. And the online hate only deepened her wounds. By early 2025, she was emotionally exhausted and financially drained. She had no stable job, no public support, and no hope of returning to her career. On the 16th of February, 2025, one of her closest friends tried contacting her throughout the day. No replies. No calls answered. No messages seen. Panicked, the friend called local authorities. Around 5 p.m., police broke down the door of Leah's Manchester flat. Inside, they found 24-year-old Leah Marson dead in her bedroom. She had taken her own life. There was no note. No explanation. Nothing to indicate what she was thinking in her final moments. But people quickly assumed it was depression, unemployment, and continuous online hate. And perhaps, something more. Her last day, the 16th of February, wasn't random. It was also the birthday of Evan Cade, the co-star whose photo she had accidentally reignited controversy with. A detail almost everyone missed at first. The actress whose dating rumors once linked her with Rowan Hale was Ayla Merrin. But here's the strange part, neither Rowan nor Ayla ever admitted their relationship publicly. They always denied everything, and Rowan didn't even attend Ayla's funeral. That detail shocked people later. Because even if they weren't dating, even if they were only colleagues, attending the funeral of someone you worked with, someone so young and so clearly struggling, is the bare minimum of human decency. But Rowan didn't show up. Not once. Ayla Merrin's death shook the entire British entertainment industry. She was only 24, an age where life is just beginning. Her family was devastated, and soon the world moved on. Until something unexpected happened. Nearly 3 weeks after her passing, a video was uploaded on a YouTube channel called Harbour Lens. In that interview, Ayla's aunt revealed details that reignited the case and sent the internet into a frenzy. She claimed that Rowan Hale had been in a relationship with Ayla since 2016. And the most controversial part. In 2016, Ayla was 15 years old, while Rowan was 28. Her aunt further claimed that when Ayla got into legal trouble for her reckless driving incident, Rowan smartly distanced himself from her to protect his own image, even though he knew she was vulnerable and drowning in pressure. Then an old photo resurfaced, allegedly from 2017, showing Rowan kissing Ayla on her cheek. But the allegations didn't stop there. According to the family, Ayla was forced to work unpaid hours for her talent agency, Crown Meridian. They even alleged that in 2024, the agency pressured her to repay a debt of nearly £450,000, sending her multiple legal notices despite knowing she was financially incapable. Ayla's family insisted. This relentless pressure pushed her towards suicide. The moment the Harbour Lens video went live, social media erupted with anger. People accused Rowan Hale of manipulation, grooming, and abandoning Ayla at her lowest point. Users connected the date of Ayla's death with Rowan's birthday, speculating she chose that date deliberately, almost symbolically. Rowan's family tried defending him by releasing some of Ayla's texts, where she begged Rowan to be kinder and less harsh. He allegedly ignored her messages. Then came the legal notice issue. Crown Meridian admitted they did send Ayla a notice demanding repayment. Their excuse? Formality. But as people said online, if it was just a formality, why didn't they tell her not to worry? Their explanation made no sense. Crown Meridian then accused Harbour Lens of fabricating timelines and creating false narratives. They even attempted to debunk the 2017 photo by claiming the clothing brands worn in the picture didn't exist that year, yet their argument was full of inconsistencies. By then, the damage was irreversible. People had already chosen a villain, Rowan Hale. His romantic involvement with a minor became the focus of the entire scandal. After all the revelations, Rowan lost over 1 million followers. Brands such as Burwood, Vintaro, and Eden & Company immediately cut ties with him. Several drama productions withdrew him from upcoming roles. He was now in the exact same ruinous situation Ayla had been in after her accident. Crown Meridian and Rowan were losing everything: money, reputation, credibility. So on the 15th of March, the agency proposed a private meeting between Ayla's family and Rowan to resolve matters quietly. But Ayla's family refused. Instead, they went on Harbour Lens again, demanding a public apology. They said they didn't want money, only acknowledgement. They wanted Rowan to admit he abandoned Ayla, pressured her, and broke her emotionally. They also wanted Crown Meridian to admit that the relationship between Ayla and Rowan started in 2016 when she was a minor. But the agency gave no clear response. And then, on the 16th of March, another photo leaked showing Rowan entering Ayla's house late at night without wearing any proper coat or disguise, fueling more suspicion. The photo went viral instantly. People were confused. Why would Rowan do that instead of simply apologizing? Why fuel more drama? The public now labeled him egotistical, cold, and manipulative. Then on the 20th of March, Rowan and Crown Meridian filed legal action against Ayla's family and Harbour Lens, accusing them of defamation. But Harbour Lens countered with emotional negligence claims, stating the agency ignored Ayla's mental state and pressured her endlessly. They also issued a shocking warning. If Rowan's upcoming drama Shadow of the Fault Line got cancelled because of Crown Meridian, they would release even more private photos and footage. Investigations were still ongoing. But on the 28th of March, Harbour Lens' legal team released chat logs that appeared to prove Rowan had indeed dated Ayla when she was underage and had manipulated her emotionally. People began calling him the British D********Y, referencing another infamous grooming case. More allegations surfaced, claims that Rowan was dating multiple women during his relationship with Ayla. His clean, boy-next-door public image was destroyed overnight. The gentle, respectful, perfect actor persona he had built through dramas was now gone. As of today, the case remains open. Police are still investigating, and both sides are releasing statements and counter-statements. But one thing is clear. Ayla is gone. Her story is now a battleground of truth, lies, trauma, power, and exploitation. And the next update will change everything again.